Hey guys, I got a great episode in store for you today. I've got an incredible guest in the studio who has created incredible success in real estate, overcome adversity, and he's going to share his story with you, which I know will encourage you. Don't miss this episode. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Justin Ford Podcast, where I'll be releasing life-changing principles and valuable information focused on all things faith, finance, family, fitness, real estate, and so much more. Let's go! What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Justin Ford Podcast. Super excited to be with you here again today. I hope you've been doing great since the last episode. If you're loving the show, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button here on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. And if you're really loving the show, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. Feel free to reach out, send us a message. Let us know how the show is helping you grow your business and impacting your life. If you haven't followed me yet on social media, you can at the Official Justin Ford. Again, at the Official Justin Ford. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, X, and also here on YouTube. Got a great episode and guest in store for you here in the studio today. But before we get into that, I do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Nextdoor Lending. Nextdoor Lending is a team of professionals that believe everyone should be treated as if they live next door. The founders and team members have more than 150 years of combined loan experience, helping clients all over the country choose the best loan program to help you accomplish your goals. Nextdoor Lending is currently licensed in over 26 states and has a team of over 100 loan officers specializing in helping you get the best rate and terms. And so whether you're looking to refinance your home or you're looking to purchase your next home, call my friends over at Nextdoor Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. As you know, anytime I bring a guest into the studio, it's really to share their story or their success with you that I believe can help make an impact on you. One of the other things is anytime someone in our EXP organization called the Legacy Network hits the status of icon, which is like the highest recognition of production at EXP, where you hit a certain level of production and really reach a level of success, we want to bring our partners here into the studio, and we have our newest Icon Agent business partner in our Legacy Network team here in the studio today. Please help me welcome Jim He just told me Jim
Trampevsky.
Yes. And he told me I'm not the only one that always gets that wrong.
No.
And it's because when you read the way your name is written, that's not how it sounds. No. So please help me welcome to the studio Jim Trampevsky. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Yes.
You got it.
And Jim actually drove a couple of hours to be here today because, Jim, you are in Ohio.
That's correct.
You live in Bowling Green.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And you have an office in
Toledo.
Downtown Toledo. And you've now been with EXP
1 year and maybe like 2 weeks.
Yeah, 1 year and 2 weeks. And I remember we were talking about you coming over, and you obviously spent a lot of time wanting to make sure that it was the right move. You had already been in real estate. You were already doing some great things in real estate, and you were really looking to position yourself to really grow and expand your brand, which is
the Realty Group.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so let's talk a little bit about you. How long have you been in real estate, Jim?
So originally I was licensed, I think it was 07, 08. And I took a break from real estate, came back in 2019, and have been full-time since. So
2008 is when you got your license?
Yep.
Awesome. And so what were you doing before you got into real estate?
I was a student at the University of Toledo.
Okay. Nice. And isn't that the Rockets?
Toledo Rockets.
Toledo
yes,
Rockets, yeah. It's the only school that I like in Ohio. Every other school, especially the Ohio State Buckeyes, we don't like those guys. And it's very well and obvious, especially to our listeners. And I'm a diehard Michigan fan. Are you an Ohio State fan as well?
Not really. I've never had a dog in that fight.
Okay, good.
To be honest.
Good. What's an interesting fact, though, is Toledo used to be a part of Michigan.
That was correct, yes.
Yep.
The Toledo Wars.
Yeah. Yep. And I think most people in Toledo are U of M fans if you had to choose because, Toledo used to be a part of the state of Michigan.
Very, very much more similar Michigan-wise than Ohio-wise, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely almost like a Detroit-type city is Toledo. That's
very
awesome.
much.
So in 2008, you get your license.
Yep.
And what made you get your license back then?
I was always great at sales, and it felt like an opportunity to really flex my sales muscle at the time.
Yeah.
Plus, young kid in college, you see an opportunity for infinite earning potential, and it's inspiring.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got into real estate. You're excited about it. How old were you in 2008?
18.
So you're 18 years old, 2018. How long were you in real estate before you kind of went into a new direction?
Not long, to be honest with you. It was right during the dark times, right during the crash.
Okay.
And right when I got licensed, I think I closed maybe 2 or 3 deals in my first year.
Yeah.
And then right after that, I ended up getting an opportunity to go work for a Fortune 500 company, and decided to do that for quite a while.
Yeah, and I think this is the company that I've heard you talk about before. What were you doing as far as at that company?
Mostly marketing.
Yeah.
I work for
Large tobacco company,
big tobacco.
right?
Yeah. It's now the #1 tobacco company in the world.
Wow.
BAT. It used to be RJ Reynolds Tobacco.
Okay. And what were your responsibilities at the company?
I was a territory manager. That's how I started out, and then developed a little bit within the ranks. And towards the end there, still kind of mostly the same role, but the role evolved over time. And I also sat on some advisory boards and different things, strategy development teams and whatnot.
Yeah, because that's a part of your specialty, right? Creating systems and strategies and things like that. And how long were you with that company?
Over 10 years.
10
I think
years,
it was
wow.
11, 12, somewhere in there.
Okay. And then from there, you decided to leave that corporate position
Yes.
and come back to real estate.
Yes.
What made you come back to real estate?
A good friend of mine, it was an interesting time in my life.
Yeah.
And, it was kind of like a crossroads, to be honest with you. It's
Yeah.
like a midlife crisis.
And you're allowed to be emotional on the show. Everybody gets emotional. It's totally fine.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a midlife crisis. And a friend, mentor of mine, kind of talked to me and sat me down and said, one thing that you're missing after I had my kids, my work had no meaning.
Right.
I had no purpose. I
Yeah.
had no drive left in me. And he said, the only way that you can fix that is to fix internally where you are, and that's get right with God and be of service to others.
Yeah.
All are called, but few choose, is what he told me.
Yeah.
And, you've always had this passion for real estate. You have a lot of knowledge that you can share with people.
Yep.
Why don't you go be of service?
Yeah.
And that's where it all started.
That is so awesome. And I didn't know that part of the story because, a lot of times, I don't get to know all the details of where somebody's story is. And that's one thing that I love about the show is being able to kind of dig deeper. And so I love that because in real estate, we have the opportunity to serve people and get paid to do that. And real estate is really a people business. Even though we're moving houses and, properties, we're really building relationships with people and helping them find those things. And it truly is the service business. And so 2019, you come back to real estate. And were you working a job then, or did you just go into real estate full time?
I was still working full time for RJ Reynolds, and this was just kind of my pet project / hobby, if you will. It was my way to connect with the world.
Yeah.
And started March of 2019. Ended up, I think, closing 6 or 8 deals my first year.
Yeah.
Broke even on what I was spending just to kind of get things up and running.
That's how it normally goes year one.
Year 2. Started making some walking around money and had some vacation funds, some toy funds. And by year 3, it got developed to a point where it really had me considering, what am I doing with my life?
Right.
And why am I spending this time now shackled to corporate?
Yeah.
And, it feels like when you're in corporate, when you're in that 9 to 5, when you're in that rat race, it feels like, you're fed this illusion that you need to spend and you need to then match your spend with your work and so on and so forth. And it's just this never ending cycle.
Yep.
But when I decided it was time to burn the ships, and it was kind of another God moment.
Yeah.
BAT bought the rest of RJ Reynolds, and the culture changed significantly, and they were offering buyouts. And at the time, I recently completed my MBA. RJ Reynolds was very gracious to pay for that.
Oh, that's great.
And I had signed a 2-year commitment with them, and I said, hey, what would happen if I took this buyout in terms of what you guys paid? And they said, well, you wouldn't have to pay it back.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. I don't have to pay back the 40 grand or whatever it was that they paid for the education. I'm getting 18 months of healthcare through COBRA coverage, and I'm getting a large sum to walk away. I'm like, yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Bye.
See ya.
And that's a great, obviously, stepping stone for you to go full-time into real estate.
So I invested the money into another horizontal venture.
Yeah.
It was an insurance agency from a retiring agent at the time. In the business there, and was running both at the same time. And that's when I guess I truly realized that my passion wasn't just to work in the business. It was to be a business owner and develop business and develop people.
I love that. That's awesome.
That's what prompted the realty group.
Yeah. And so were you a solo agent during those years where you were kind of doing things on your own? And then when you decided to leave corporate, start your insurance company, start the realty group, is that when you started to build out a team, or were you already kind of working as a team or have some people on the team?
About 6 months before I made this decision to leave corporate altogether, I was starting to play with this concept of a team.
Yeah.
And, that's when everything just kind of, all the stars aligned, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. And so you were at another company in Ohio. And when did you start to hear about EXP? Because I know that you were getting ready to transition to go to another company, a really well-known franchise company.
Yes.
And some things started to happen over there that caused you to really start being open. When did you start hearing about EXP or even start considering EXP?
So it was kind of a weird journey. So right when I left RJ Reynolds, I also left the brokerage I was at the time, and went to another local area brokerage. And I found that wasn't a good fit for me, culture, mission, vision-wise.
Yeah.
So we made this decision at the time to move to the company that you were talking about.
Yep.
And I was moving 2 people along with me.
Yeah.
And it was brought to my attention up front that one of the individuals on the team that I was hoping to create, there was maybe some, I don't know what the word would be, hostility between some people at the brokerage that we were hoping to move to, and them. There's just some issues, I guess. And he brought it to my attention. I tried to kind of see where things would go. Signals were crossed maybe in the meantime, and within the first day that we moved over, it just turned into this crazy episode. And what I felt like at the time was, I was being forced to choose between doing the right thing and, just belonging. And, I don't care how much money it costs. I don't care how much time it took. It cost me quite a bit of money, but ultimately, after doing my due diligence and the allegations that they were making about my guy, none of it was true.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew that this was not the place for me. And that was the other God moment.
Yeah.
And I just kind of reached out to some other people that I respect and appreciate, and made moves. Interviewed some companies in the area that I didn't know much about. And Jimmy actually introduced me to you at that time. And everything just kind of seemed like it made sense.
It did, yeah. And I remember when I came down to Ohio to have lunch with you and your wife and a handful of people, and it was interesting because, like you said, you were already basically going to this other brokerage, and this issue that kind of arose redirected you to where you are now. And obviously we met a few times. I met with your team. You prayed about it, you talked about it, you looked into it. And I remember when you had reached out to me and said, this is definitely something we want to do. And what I love about what you've been doing is, you came over here and you hit the ground running. You've got an office, you've got a team, and you're really starting to expand. And you got a lot of great things that you're already doing, but that you're looking to do moving forward. And so when you joined EXP, what were some of the things that caused you to say, yes, this is where I want to plant my flag?
Just the culture, the vision, the mission of what EXP is about.
Yeah.
To me, EXP is a brokerage full of innovators.
Yep.
And innovators are what move the world.
Yep.
So I wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah. Which is awesome because you have a very innovative mind and you've got a lot of awesome ideas and things that you're doing, but also talking about doing. And the other thing that's really great about EXP is obviously you can really expand and grow in multiple places. You live in Bowling Green. You have an office in Toledo. I know you've talked about wanting to kind of capture that. What is it called? The
northern part of Ohio.
Like northern part of Ohio. I know there's a name for it. And really start expanding and growing. And so you've been here a year. You came in, and I know you've had some big, goals and things that you want to accomplish. And less than a year being here, you hit icon. So congratulations with that. And you obviously, when you become an icon, you qualify to get stock back, and then obviously build your retirement out. And you have how many agents on the team at the Realty team?
We're currently at 12 agents.
12 agents. Mm-hmm. You've been here a year, and there was something that you had said to me before we got on. I'd love for you, to kind of reshare that with you of how you're ending the year and really what's the goal moving forward into the new year.
So right now, the biggest thing is fourth quarter for real estate is when agents make moves.
Yeah.
And, our big focus, being a new team, I've made my share of mistakes. I'm not perfect. God didn't create me that way. So
right. Yeah.
I'm humble enough to understand that I have opportunities, and some of the opportunities that I have right now is to really develop as a good leader.
Yeah.
And I'm really open to feedback, and I take it very sincerely when my team members and I seek it. I want my team members to come out and tell me, hey, where can I improve? What more can I do to be of value to you guys?
I love that.
And the biggest thing right now, I guess, that we're working on is a collective of some of the team members that have been with us for a while or really kind of fit in and capture what I believe the vision is. We're going to come together to identify what our mission, vision, values are.
I love that.
So that way we all can articulate. We know internally why we're here, but we need to now communicate externally the same why so that we can continue this mission for God and help others achieve what I have been able to do and others on the team have been able to do.
I love that. That's awesome. And one of the things we were also talking about is how important it is to have the right people on the team.
Yes.
For culture purposes, because, you want to have people who fit who you are and where you're going. And sometimes, the wrong person can disrupt that, right? The wrong person can kind of throw a wedge into that. How do you look for people? Because obviously you've grown your team, pretty well, and you're attracting people to it. How do you identify the right person and try to make sure that they're a good fit in order to join your team?
Well, to be honest with you, it's still a work in progress. It's something that is very, very new to me, and I'm going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes, and I'll own my mistakes when I make them. Again, not perfect. But what I try never to do is repeat mistakes. And one guiding principle that's always kind of like, it came to me at a time that I needed to hear it, and I'll share it with everybody on this podcast. I've shared it with a few of my team members before. Let me see where I have it saved. But it just kind of, whenever times are tough, whenever, I just don't understand, I go back to this, and it's an excerpt that says, "You are not for everyone. The world is filled with people who, no matter what you do, will point blank not like you. But it is also filled with those who will love you fiercely. They are your people. You are not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't waste your precious time and gifts trying to convince them of your value. They won't ever want what you're selling. Don't convince them to walk alongside you. You'll be wasting both your time and theirs, and will likely inflict unnecessary wounds which will take precious time to heal. You are not for them. They are not for you. Politely wave them on and continue along your way. Sharing your path with someone is a sacred gift. Don't cheapen that gift by rolling yours in the wrong direction."
Wow, that's really good. If you could share that with me after the show, because that's so true. Because I think oftentimes as human beings, we want everybody to like us. We don't like when people don't like us.
Not possible.
Because it causes us to look within and think something's wrong with us. And when we were at, I think it was a couple of years ago, it was at our Glover U Summit in Orlando, and John Maxwell was the speaker. And I remember what he said on stage that really spoke to me. He says, we attract who we are, not who we want.
Yes.
We can say that we want to attract everybody,
Yep.
every buyer. I want to be every buyer's agent. I want to be every seller's agent. I want every agent to work on my team. But the reality is not everybody's going to like you and not everybody's meant for you. And that's okay. And I think that I love what that said, because every person listening to this right now wants to be liked and accepted by everybody. That's human nature.
It's human nature.
But it can't. And I can relate to you. As a leader, it's hard, right? Because you want to pour into everybody.
Yes.
You want to help everybody. You want to see everybody win. And
you see the best in everybody.
You do see the best in everybody. And unfortunately, sometimes people take advantage of that. People don't live up to maybe what you see in them as possible.
Yep.
And sometimes people leave.
They do.
And that hurts. And it's hard to be a leader, but I love what you said. And it's good to have those reminders in those times where you're struggling, when you're going through things, so that you can continuously keep yourself encouraged. Because sometimes being a leader is a lonely road and all you have is you. Yep.
That's the truth.
Yeah. And you need to encourage yourself. And so let's go back to the type of agent you're looking for. Because a lot of times we have agents that are obviously listening to the show and may feel connected to you or drawn to you. What kind of agent are you looking for when you look to bring an agent onto the realty team? Who fits? And again, I know it's still a work in progress, but like, what type of agent are you looking for, and what are you looking to help an agent accomplish?
So our kind of loose mission vision is to help agents become better versions of themselves.
That's good.
A lot of times what I find is salespeople are wonderful, beautiful human beings.
Yep.
But they suck at running businesses.
Right.
They don't know which way is up. They don't track P&Ls. They don't look at process, product, systems. So if you're not keeping score, how do you know where you are?
Wow, that's good.
Having the systems, having the scorecard is your map. It's your compass.
Yeah.
And it's pointing you whether or not you're up, down, left, right, sideways. It's ultimately what gives you bearings. So people that we're looking for are innovative people. They think outside of the box. They don't want to really be strapped to conformity.
Right.
They don't need to feel a sense of belonging in the sense that I have to be like everybody else. I want people to be different, and I want them to know that that's okay.
Yeah.
At the Realty Group, we fit out. We don't fit in.
Right.
And that's okay. But outside of that, where we really want to hone in and where we can add a ton of value and pour into people is in systems and coaching and really developing skill set.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was blessed to have when I was at RJ Reynolds is they spent millions of dollars developing our salespeople, our leadership team, our everybody that's there.
Yeah.
I had some world-class training that I now have the opportunity to pass on to other people. And these are skill sets that you can use wherever you go, whether you stay in real estate, whether you go somewhere else. These are all skill sets that you can use. And outside of that, where we can really help is take and set up a business plan.
Yeah.
I find that very, very few agents actually have a plan, operate off of a plan, and then we have systems that will help you track on a daily, weekly, monthly basis where you are to that plan.
I like that.
Because if you're not doing that, you're not going to achieve what you're looking to achieve. It shouldn't be a guess where you are in the year. Most agents, especially new ones, they go through the EKG period of sales. You go like this, and then you go like this, and then you go like this, and then you go like this. That EKG period should last about 6 to 12 months.
Right.
But when it's lasting into year 2, into year 3, into year 4, there could be opportunities there.
Yeah.
And would love to sit down with anybody, whether they want to work with us or not. We're here to make people better. So I believe in show, not tell.
Yep.
So call me on that.
Yeah.
If you need help, if you feel like, hey, this sounds like me, come see us.
Yeah.
You don't need to leave your brokerage. Come see us. We'll help you regardless.
I love that. And one of the things that you said too, and I love your mindset around this is, as real estate agents, even when you're on a team or you're a part of a brokerage, you're self-employed. You are the CEO of your business, whether you are on somebody's team or not, and you need to learn how to run a business the right way.
Right.
And I love that you're teaching your agents how to do that. And the other thing that I love about EXP is even if, somebody, let's say, is on your team and you teach them everything that they need to know, and they decide to be a solo agent within EXP, they're still a part of your team.
Yes.
You're not training your competition. You're not, training someone up and giving them everything that they need to go win and then they leave. Although that, again, that's a part of leadership. People go on and do other things like you've done, like I've done. However, within this model, you're able to, in a sense, disciple people and build people and still grow a community, even if it's outside of your regular team. And I love that you're doing that. And so even somebody that might be listening right now could be in a different state. They don't have to be in Ohio, and might be interested in learning what it would look like to potentially work with you. And through EXP, they can do that really in all 50 states and like 24 countries around the world.
Absolutely.
Which is one of the things I love. What are some of the things, now you've been at EXP for about a year, what are some of the things that you've really enjoyed about EXP?
I like that it's very digital. I like that it's omnipresent.
Yep.
It feels like we're everywhere and we're growing rapidly.
Yep.
We're number one, I think, in transaction sides
Yep.
now.
Yep.
24 countries.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And some of the value that they add and continue to add and pour into the agents is just, again, the culture that we bought in to.
Yeah. And you're doing a great job expanding. And I know that you've got some goals also to expand more into Ohio. So you have one office right now, right? It's downtown Toledo. Yep. Really cool office, by the way. Joy and I came down not too long ago and saw it. What are the plans for expansion in 2025 and beyond?
So right now we're looking to get to about, I'd say 25 to 30 agents in Toledo.
Yep.
Once that happens, I feel like we've hit a critical mass to where we can continue to achieve goals year over year from there.
Yep.
But then we're looking to head east. We're looking to go towards Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then maybe south from there.
Nice. We don't want to talk about the city that's south of Cleveland. I think it begins with a Colum and ends with a bust. Colum bust. Yeah. But no, Ohio is a great market. What's interesting about Ohio is, the Midwest is always an area that people are passing through. And I know Ohio is a great state. It's a huge state, and there's a lot of opportunities there. And I know that your goal is to really expand all throughout the state, which is pretty exciting. If you don't mind sharing, like, what did this year look like? I knew you had some goals. Like, what are you guys on track to do this year? And then what's your goal next year as far as production as a team?
So as a team this year, I think we're just over 120 units for the year.
Nice.
Yep.
That's a great first year, Jim.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
We're number one in Northwest Ohio for EXP.
I love it. Great job.
So that was kind of cool. That was a nod in the right direction saying, hey, you keep doing some of this anyway.
Yeah.
Did just under 24, 25 mil. And I think we'll close out the year around 30.
Which is awesome.
Being a newer team, that's not too bad. And especially when your average price point in Northwest Ohio is just under 200.
I was going to say,
we don't have normal real estate in our area.
Yep.
Toledo is funny. Toledo is the place where dreams come to die when it comes to businesses. And I mean that in a positive way. I mean it because
it's true, yeah.
It's really, really hard to compete. Toledo has, in the top 3 brokerages in Toledo, not a single one is a national brokerage.
Yeah.
You believe that? 1 is a local, number 2 is a local, number 3 is a local.
Yeah.
No national, no regional, just local. Number 4 is a regional presence.
Yeah.
That's how crazy the competition is in Toledo. No one's been able to make anything stick.
Yeah.
Even before I was in real estate, Toledo was a testing ground for any time we would bring something new to see whether it would make it in the country. If it makes it in Toledo, it'll make it anywhere.
Wow.
So to me, Toledo, again, God kind of put me in the spot, and I feel it's to test this concept and really hone it in to share what we have with the world.
Yeah, because if you can succeed in Toledo, what you're doing, you can succeed really anywhere in Ohio and beyond. That's exciting. What's the goal for 2025 for units and production and volume?
I'd like to see that double, and that's the track that we're heading. I'm going to set it right now. I'm going to call it 50 million.
Yeah,
in production.
That's a great goal.
So that's where we're heading.
And I know the goal for you and your team is to become a mega icon team.
Yes,
which I know you'll do next year.
Yes, that's the second goal.
That is the second goal, and that's. Do you know what the requirements are for that?
So it was transactions. It was a few different ways to hit it. You can do it in transaction sides. You can do it in total GCI. So I think what remind me again?
I think you have to have 10 cappers, and I think it's either 50 or 75 million total.
I think it was just under 50, or you could do $500,000 in GCI, or somewhere in that general vicinity.
Which I know you're on track to do,
Yes.
and you're attracting some great people. What are some of the things that because we also had a conversation about one of your ISAs. What are some of the things that you're offering agents outside of just teaching them systems and stuff like that? What are some of the things that you're kind of getting in the trenches to teach them in order to sell more homes?
Really, it's just how to be a good salesperson, how to have a good model, how to set up your days. A lot of times people don't even know how to plug into a system. What should I be doing every day? It's a whole new world once you leave the 9 to 5. And not everybody can make it.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, it's really, really hard. There's 3 types of personalities in the world. There's people that are entrepreneurial. There's people that can work for corporate. And there's people that have to work for government. And there's no right or wrong to it.
Right.
It's just how we're wired. And I found through a lot of soul searching and a lot of inner working that I'm one of those people that can never work for corporate or government. Right. I have to
and you've
be
done
an
it.
entrepreneur.
You know it doesn't work for you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I love that you are not only doing it for yourself, but you're doing it and helping other people. And obviously coming over to EXP in year 1, you've had a great success. And I'm super excited to see your success continued. For someone that's listening to kind of take you up on what you said, or maybe someone's listening who has a referral, right, for your area, or wants to connect with you, or is interested in learning more about your team or how they can partner with you in EXP, what's the best way that people can reach you, Jim?
I'll put my cell phone number on here, 419-705-5818. You can call, text. Texting is probably the fastest way to get me. The second fastest way is probably through email, jimT@key2-home.com. That's jimT@key, KEYTO-home, HOME.com.
Yeah, guys, I'm telling you right now, I've had the opportunity to work with Jim and his team for the last year, and they're the real deal, right? The Realty team is the real deal. And Jim, it's been great to work with you, and I'm excited for what's to come for you guys, because I know you guys have some great things in store. And that's one of the things that I love about EXP is we get to partner in business. And you don't need to do it often, because I know you're doing a great job. But Jim reaches out to me here and there, has questions, or has me down to speak to the team, and that's what I love about this partnership is we're in it together. And the goal is to, like you said, raise up agents and help them succeed and win. And you're doing a phenomenal job. And so great job, my brother.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Any closing words for anybody that might be listening, that may be struggling right now in real estate, or really just hoping to have a great year next year?
I had somebody reach out to me the other day, a friend, and they were struggling personally with some conflict. And I shared with them a story. For anybody that hasn't spent much time on a farm, cows, when a storm's coming, do you know what cows do? They run.
Do they really?
They run.
Okay.
And the funny thing about running is the more that you try to run away from the storm, you're never going to outrun it.
Right.
It's just going to be caught in the suck longer than you need to be.
Right.
And the difference between a cow that's domesticated, that is fear-driven, and something that is God-created, a buffalo.
Right.
Buffaloes will run towards the storm.
Wow.
They will face it head on. So right now, this has been a challenging time in real estate. We've gone from one extreme probably to another is where we're heading.
Yep.
And I would recommend to anybody watching this who's struggling, be a buffalo. To me, a proverb comes to mind. Fear not, for I'm with you.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you're a buffalo, you can face that. Know that you can face those challenges. You can face that storm with friends.
Yeah.
And that will make your time a little bit easier. And we're here to help you do that.
I love that. Because buffaloes run in herds and they run together. You'll never catch a buffalo by itself.
That's correct.
That's so good. Run into the storm. Don't run away from it. Be a buffalo and not a cow.
That's right.
I love that, Jim. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing with us your story, your success, and ultimately where you're heading. It's going to be great.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Guys, reach out to Jim if you have any questions about anything he talked about today. Maybe you just need some help putting those systems and processes together. Maybe you need to learn how to read a P&L. Maybe you're looking to get into real estate. Maybe you're already into real estate, or maybe you just want to buy or sell a home in the North Ohio region, or somebody that's looking to buy or sell there and you want to pass a referral. Jim and his team are an absolutely incredible team, and they can assist you. And so feel free to share this podcast with somebody that you feel it could encourage. Again, make sure you reach out to Jim. Feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel or your favorite podcast platform. Would love to hear from you. Love the feedback as it comes in. And also would love to have you follow me on social media. If you haven't followed me yet, you can follow me at The Official Justin Ford. Again, at The Official Justin Ford. If you want to be a buffalo, do hard stuff. If you want to be a cow, keep on running. Before we wrap up today's episode, I do want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Nextdoor Lending. Nextdoor Lending is not just a sponsor of the show. This is our personal lender that we refer all of our buyers at the Justin Ford Real Estate Team to. 1,000 5-star reviews, a perfect A+ Better Business Bureau rating. And if you're a buyer looking to purchase a home here into the end of the year, into next year, call our friends over at Nextdoor Lending. If you're looking to refinance your home, maybe take some cash out, lower your interest rate as they come down, call my friends over at Nextdoor Lending. And if you are a real estate agent looking for a great mortgage lender, call my friends over at Nextdoor Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. 2 things I always like to leave you with. Number 1, it's not how you start. What matters is how you finish. And number 2, with God, all things are possible. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.